Hey everybody, after a big break, let's get back to some Naomi business. Naomi episode 10, and then there was 3. I'll talk about that later on. So Naomi's been living in a world of secrets, and in this episode, it's called Fallout. And she finds out that Greg and Jen's true identities are that they were aliens, which indicates they've been lying to Naomi her whole life. Now you have to feel bad for Naomi. This episode did a really good job of showing how much she felt that everything and everyone around her was betraying her. The more she digs deeper for the truth, the more she finds out that people have been keeping secrets from her. As we found out a few episodes ago, Zumbadu knows everything. He knew about her parents, he knew about Brutus, and he knew about Akira and the 29. But most importantly, he's coming around to the idea that it's pointless trying to keep anything from Naomi because she's ready to deal with everything. So it was weird seeing Naomi acting like a rebel, with Jen and Greg trying to explain to Naomi why they've been lying to her. She doesn't stick around, and she goes missing from school to late training with Dee and raving at a local warehouse nightclub. Our girl was really lashing out. And worst of all, her school principal caught her hanging out in the comic shop, which brings her parents to the school. Now, Annabelle reminds Naomi that they're still her parents and that they love her. Annabelle's sister is to die for, by the way. We'll come on to that later on. But Naomi still ended up going back home towards the end of the episode. But let's talk about the highlights of this episode. Naomi feels alone, guys. She doesn't know what's coming next, but she's prepared to find out her truth by herself. Now, Dee's wings didn't sense her parents because they don't have any powers. Their eyes simply just glowed blue because of their genetic differences. They're different on a molecular level. Zabadu points out that they are from Earth 29. He knew them. He didn't know them very well, but he knew that they were good people. Remember, guys, only 29 of them got powers from those strange cosmic rays. So people like Greg and Jen didn't get any abilities at all. Now there was one part where she goes to a club in order to find clues, and that was where Nathan Blake, Captain Comet, was hanging out. And all she found there was trouble and needed to be bailed out by Akira. Why? Because Naomi and Annabelle went into the woods to find the birth rock, and Naomi uses her X-ray vision and discovers that there's something hidden within the rock. She blasts the rock, unearthing another alien artifact in the shape of a cube with a green energy inside of it. When Naomi showed the aliens this cube at the club, they ganged up on her, which is where Akira rescues her. Now she receives an unwelcome visit from somebody called Mac, a fellow alien of Earth 29 who was sent by Brutus. She wants Akira to help her with this new project. They already found Naomi due to her manifesting powers and leaving a residual energy spike every time she uses them. But they want Akira's help to defeat Naomi. And of course, Akira declined. Which is why I said, and then there was 3. Akira tells Zumbadu about Mac's visit, but they know Brutus won't stop until Naomi and everyone she loves are dead. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Lourdes inviting Naomi to that warehouse party, and then a few dances and photos after, Lourdes gets flirty because Nathan was ghosting Naomi. But when Lourdes leans in for a kiss, Naomi steps back in shock. Now you can see Lourdes was hurt big time by this. She was rejected. And she's been sending all these signals to Naomi for months now. Even we picked up on it. But now she thinks that Naomi is just using her for a ride and to experiment with being rebellious. And Naomi reminded her that she's still dating Nathan. And we didn't really get the fallout from what happened in this nightclub between the two. All we got was that at the end of the episode, Nathan messages Naomi to say he misses her. So as far as we know, Lourdes is angry, she's hurt, and she feels rejected. I'm sure they'll come up to that in the next episode. But let's talk about Mac. She warns Akira that the war is coming and that they would be in her best interest to choose the winning side. Now Mac approaches Naomi, she introduces herself, and wants Naomi to join them. If she does, great, and then she can come home to Earth 29. But when Naomi declines the offer, Mac pulls out a glowing blue saber. Yeah, I know. It's the old lightsaber trope. I mean, couldn't be anything else, could it? So I have a few things to say about this fight, guys. Some good, some bad. So let's start with the good. How much stronger Naomi has got. And she's more adept with the Bowstar fighting abilities she's learned from Dee. She went toe to toe with Mac while using her powers. That was a good part. The bad part was what on earth happened to the special effects. The sparkling reminded me of some fairy powers, and we even got the Tinkerbell twinkle sound every time Naomi used her abilities. That really caught me off guard because previously using her powers had much more weight to it than this. I thought I was watching a Disney princess show. It really looked like something out of Nickelodeon. I didn't like that at all. But then Zanbadu and Akira arrive, forcing Mac to retreat using a handheld transportation device. She's dangerous, guys, but Naomi's fight with her was a real eye-opener because Naomi can actually defend herself. And Akira admits to Zanbadu that he was right about her being special. Now, Brutus believes Naomi to be a threat to his very existence, and he will not stop until he kills her. Also meaning that everyone Naomi knows and loves is in danger. And that's when I said, and now there are three. Because Akira, as I said, will join Dee and Zanbadu in protecting everybody. So, some surprises in this episode, guys, is Zanbadu got to go to Star Labs to erase Naomi's energy from the wreckage she caused. Didn't know he could do that. Also, Greg is still in a bit of a disbelief that Naomi is capable of such destruction. Did you see his face when he walked into the lab and saw what Naomi did? That was his daughter. He was just like, what on earth happened in there? And Greg questions how Zanbadu knew all of that. He knew everything about Naomi, but he didn't say anything to them. See what I mean about Zanbadu? Zanbadu's a trustworthy guy, man. You tell him something, he ain't gonna tell anybody. He'll bet his life on it. And it's showing how trustworthy Zanbadu really is. Also, Annabelle and her little sister Sophie. How adorable and annoying she is at the same time is a real treat for the show. And they visited Dee, and we all know about Annabelle and Dee's relationship, at the tattoo shop, where Sophie remarks that Annabelle just became 200% cooler being friends with Dee. I did enjoy that. But I do believe that Greg and Jennifer have always sought to protect Naomi. But without any powers, they were never going to succeed, guys. And they should have been upfront with Naomi the second she got her powers. They both knew how important it was for Naomi to find answers, and they really let her down. So for me, guys, a healthy 7.8 out of 10. Greg also said that there's still a threat of the military, but he didn't really mention anything else about it. But for me, if that was real, then they would just pack their bags and leave town. As for Zanbadu holding back the truths, yeah, it was never Zanbadu's place to speak about Greg and Jennifer. He felt they were doing a good job raising her, so why would he do anything to disrupt that? But for me, guys, Akira is still a bit of a dark horse. She met with Naomi before and was very friendly. We saw that 5 episodes ago. She created a device that can transport people to different Earths. But here's the trick, guys. She also mentioned that it can go to different dimensions. Dimensions, guys. Hence, Earth Prime with Superman and Lois and the Flash and Batwoman are now on the menu. At least we have our answers into how they will team up. So overall, guys, I'm enjoying it. Let the games begin. Let me know what your thoughts were in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to the channel, guys, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Peace out.